I have all the holes punched in the stiles and the rails for the gate project. Now it's on to forging tenons. I'm starting with the square tenons on the rails. I lay this out about 1/8 of an inch long so that I can upset it back later, cut the end off where it needs to be. I then do a cold layout with a chisel, so I've got a little groove that I can index with the butcher's in the guillotine tool. That way everything gets lined up right where I want it. After butchering it and getting the shoulder where I want it, then I go to the power hammer and draw it out till it's roughly the correct size. Then back to the guillotine tool, some tenoning dies. Then I can refine the size, get it down to 1/2 inch. Trim the tenon close to its final length, just so I'm not working with so much, and so I don't have so much that I get it stuck in the monkey tool. But at that point, it's time to square up the shoulder with the monkey tool, check it against my sample bar, the first one I did based on the drawing. I need to make all of my tenons match that bar so all the bars are the same length, shoulder to shoulder. Today's video is brought to you by the historic Blacksmith Conservancy. Now the top 3 rails all get the 1/2 inch square tenon. The bottom rail needs a heel tenon. That's a bigger tenon with a great big upset shoulder or heel that will help keep the gate from racking. It really helps stabilize it. On a lot of gates, it's only found on the hinge side. I decided to put it on both sides on this gate. This tenon starts with a similar layout, although on the other bars, I only needed 1 inch of material to draw out into the tenon. On this one, I need 1 3/4 inch material to do the upset and then draw out into the 1/2 by 1 rectangular tenon. I would like to take a moment and thank the Historic Blacksmith Conservancy for sponsoring today's video. The Historic Blacksmith Conservancy is dedicated to the collection, preservation, and advancement of historically significant blacksmiths and their practice. With the rise of YouTube the last decade or so, there's lots of blacksmithing information out there, lots of beginner books, beginner videos, all sorts of stuff for people to get started on their journey in blacksmithing. The thing that seems to be missing is, what do you do after you're a beginner, after you're an intermediate? There are a few classes, a few programs, something like the Urbana National Curriculum that helps people advance, but then it kind of stalls out. You're left on your own to find those resources. The Historic Blacksmithing Conservancy is one of those resources. They're collecting and preserving information, samples of work, tools, from some of the great smiths here in the U.S., people like Samuel Yellin, who inspired this gate project that I'm currently working on. And I'm really looking forward to be able to take advantage of some of those resources as they really get going and make those things available. I'm not sure how they're going to be available. I don't know if you actually have to travel to wherever they're going to be stored, if they're going to have photos and a website. I'm just not sure what those archives are going to look like at this point. But they are in the process of getting all that set up, getting it all established. And I think it's going to be a great resource for anybody who wants to advance their blacksmithing to the next level. Now, let's get back to work. With the heel upset, I let this cool so I can get an accurate measurement. I'm going to mark it and take a similar approach to what we did for the square tenon, only this one will be rectangular. I think I already said 1/2 by 1. Well, I'm pretty happy with the shape of the heel, the location of the tenon. This is one of those videos that I think we're going to end with, well, you get the idea, because the tenon is a little thin in this dimension and it's a little bit short, which means I didn't leave enough material. I'm not sure what I did different when I did my test piece. My notes said I used 1 3/4 inch material to create this heel in the tenon, so maybe I've upset it more doing this. It may be a little thick in here. Not enough to make much of a difference. So I don't think there's any material in here I can draw out to fix any of this, but I do have a few ideas in my head on how I might fix this. The obvious solution is cut it off short so it's down inside the mortise, and just use the MIG welder or torch, or maybe go to somebody's shop that'll let me borrow a TIG welder and put an extension on there that's the right size. That would pretty much solve all of my problems, and it would be very efficient. In a modern shop, that's probably what most people would do. I'm trying to avoid electrical welding on this gate, so maybe I will forge weld it using a cleft weld, and if I do that, we'll take a look at that. We'll make a video out of how I do that and how I might be able to save this tenon and make it more the size that I intended to make in the first place. But I'm going to think on this for a while. I got some other stuff to do the next few weeks, and when I get back to this gate, that'll be the next thing I'm going to have to take care of. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to check out the Historic Blacksmith Conservancy if you're interested in that kind of work. But for everybody, I hope you have time in your day to get out to your shop, make something, stay safe, wear your safety glasses. We'll see you for the next video.